And probably one of the biggest surprises for Beyblade news is that we actually even have news at all to talk about today, because the app seemingly just leaked a new Beyblade system that's going to be coming eventually. So if you are excited for that news and like bays that spin, make sure to like, subscribe, and comment your thoughts. And as well, make sure to check out Mall of Bays. We have restocked quite a bit for the amazing month of December. We import from Japan and we are Canadian based. It is an optional way to support the channel, and I appreciate any and all support regardless. So I first want to give a huge shout out to Crazy for a lot of the information we're going to be talking about in this video. But in this, let's first talk about some of the findings that he did for some of the December releases. We actually do have a little bit more information to talk about. The first one being Meteor Dragoon, because we actually do have a weight estimate where they basically do their best to see what is most likely the weight going to be, and Crazy's guesses have been pretty close, I would say. Maybe there's like some small discrepancies, whatever, but they're pretty much almost always on the mark. And it's apparently supposed to be like 37.22 grams. Basically, that would just be like the 37 ballpark, which in that, I'm actually not too surprised. I would say that at this point, adjusting how it performs, like Shark Scale is not super heavy, yet it actually does pretty good, I would say. And I say not too heavy because I feel like the higher ups are like the 38 to 39s, and now we're going to like plus 40 for a lot of stuff. There are other pictures of the shape and design, like even next to Wizard Rod. And obviously what I would say with Meteor Dragoon is that I am hoping that it can do good. I think the biggest thing is just going to be seeing if it can just equalize effectively and consistently. If it can do that and just replace Cobalt Dragoon, then I do think Meteor Dragoon is just going to have an easy spot in the meta for people to actually use and to battle with. And the side profile does also seem like, yeah, that's pretty like rounded off. So I do think it probably won't be a good left spin attacker, but I do think it will be a good left spin equalizer, which again, I'm perfectly fine with. I do actually think we need, I don't know. The more I thought about the burst stuff, whatever, I'm thinking like, yeah, you wanna know what? Seeing how the meta is for Beyblade X, I wouldn't be against just seeing like left spin stamina, left spin defense. Obviously, you know, maybe not go as crazy as burst did for maybe a lot of the equalizer bottoms or something, I don't know. That's another story, but I mean, Meteor Dragoon may be promising. It's either we hope post or we doom post. Speaking of talking about future releases, we do have Mummy Curse, which the estimated weight's supposed to be 36.93 grams. I would assume just around like 36 grams, and that kind of reminds me of Tricera Depressed. I am hoping the defense types can do a little bit better. I do think that, I mean, the weight doesn't seem too bad, and the shape and design does seem, I mean, there are some weird gaps and whatever, but it is like rounded off. I hope Mummy Curse is actually going to be good. I wouldn't be surprised if it isn't, but you know, it would be nice to have some defense types actually have a presence in the meta, because especially if you think about the wheel assist blade, and I'm saying wheel because I remember that WBO updated their rule set to be obviously a lot more closer to the B4 rules, and I think it's pretty fair to have Rubber Excel in its worn state probably banned, because you are wearing it quite a bit, but that worn Rubber Excel is like crazy stamina and defense. You can still do stuff like wheel on Hexa or whatever, but I am hoping that defense can evolve a little bit better for the future of Beyblade X, because I do think it's a little bit with question marks right now, and still to this day if it's useful or not. The other thing I wanted to mention was actually the bit of Jolt, where it does seem to have a very much that little hole flat is narrow like wedge. The only thing is that if it has 16 gears, I'm not too hopeful it's going to be too good, just because 16 gears is always to the detriment of a bit. Hexa's big weakness is the fact that it has 16 gears, level, etc. The higher the gear ratio is almost never good in Beyblade X. You want it to be not 16 gears. I think that would be something that can work out pretty good. The other thing to talk about is actually 455 versus 755, because 755 seems to hang a little bit lower and as of rounder contact points. I'm really hoping it's going to be good, specifically on Clock Mirage, because that would give us an option where we wouldn't have to fear bursting as much. I think the moment they do this, or maybe like a 355 or something, where it's really rounded off, we could have something very interesting for Clock Mirage in the meta. Now we're gonna actually just get to the main news discussion, where it's actually going to be talking about the fact that the app has two parts just labeled on kind of like the hub when you're going to select it. The Asia region app, I should say, where they'll have Metal Blade and Overblade, which that is pretty surprising customizing. So for the rest of this video, I'm basically talking about any theories and discussion, but I think it's super crazy to actually think that we might be getting another system in Beyblade X. Now, I do want to say might because I did recently do a report on what seems that a Japan store was saying these are the release schedule for the future releases, and we didn't get March, but I thought March might be a new system, and no, and in reality, March is just going to probably just be that filler of CX stuff. So with March, we do know that it's not going to be right away because that should be just filling out CX releases. It might be later on. Like, don't forget when CX originally had the logo revealed before the official reveal, it was like months and months and months of waiting. So for a good portion of this video, I just want to kind of talk about any theories that I have for the potential system and kind of go from there for what I think that they could do. Okay, so for like a Metal Fight Beyblade, you had the face, you had the clear wheel, the metal wheel, then after the track in the bottom. What 4D does, you have like the face, the 4D clear wheel, which is still basically a regular clear wheel. PC frames, so that would be still like a plastic thing. The metal, sometimes it would also have a core like a base and then like a 4D box. So for an example, for like Beat Link, you know, it has like the PC frame, it has like a metal wheel, and you can like interchange it. So we could get something like this, like a 4D system with the custom line. That could be something interesting. Maybe they add like a new component. It could also just be not with the custom line and they just do like literally, you know, maybe like, hey, a Metal Fight system of customization. And something to actually consider with the Metal Fight system is this, that, hey, I can have, let's say, my favorite Bay like Leon right here, and let's say I have my cool Pegasus. Okay, I have two bays right here, but let's say I want to have a different Pegasus and a different Leon. I can customize it, and this is the funnest part about Metal Fight. Now, here's the thing. In general, has clear wheels proven to be like, oh, there is actually a real competitive difference, like some clear wheels on some metal wheels? Probably. I would probably say in general, you know, it wasn't like a major factor. There's definitely some important customization stuff, but these things are really cool. And I'm saying this not to dig too hard on the custom line, but I feel like Beyblade Burst, where Beyblade Burst, you know, they had originally just metal discs by themselves, and then after they kind of gave us like metal discs that can actually have frames. And that's basically how I view like the CX assist blades. That's the closest thing that I can actually think of. And my issue with these assist blades and everything, I don't know. I feel that the system wasn't necessarily a bad idea, but I feel since of the fact that if you actually do look at the custom line and its presence, none of them are really that good performing. So there's almost a disinterest in it, especially in a generation that is heavily marketed now for a lot more of the competitive side. So it does mean that things like that are gonna actually stick out a lot more like a sore thumb when they're actually doing these releases. Then they do talk about a metal blade and an overblade. I did think about 0G, because in 0G, you could have it where either the metal or the plastic is actually on the top. Now, ignoring the actual synchrome thing, which was a different story, which we're not gonna actually get to in this video, this could also be a possibility. I do think it is at least interesting to see what they're gonna actually do here, because this does imply actually a new system. The last possibility I could think of could be something along the lines of what Beyblade Burst had with subsystems, where every time there was like a main layer system, they would do like a little subsystem around that. That could be something that they could actually do. I'm not too sure where it leads, if it's a new system entirely or if it's a subsystem. That'll be for you, the viewer, to decide and speculate. But that's going to be kind of it for this video, so I do want to say thank you all for watching, and that's going to be it for now. Take care and bye.